Hi, everybody. I'm Todd McKim, and welcome to the Cal Basketball Report for this week. A great weekend against the Oregon schools, and the men's team will be back on the road this week against Arizona State and Arizona. Before we talk to head coach Mike Montgomery, we want you to hear from Richard Solomon, who had an outstanding weekend. In fact, against Oregon, a double-double as he had 13 points and 12 rebounds, one of the reasons why the Bears were able to upset the 10th-ranked team in the country. Here's his story. If there is one word to describe Richard Solomon, it might be
goofy. You know, he's just always, make people laugh and stuff like that. So he's a good kid to be around.
Or it might be enigmatic. With a long frame and athleticism, the 6'10 junior just looks like a guy who can dominate a game. For moments at a time, he has done just that. Case in point, 6 blocked shots against Washington State. But oftentimes he appears to be a point guard in a big man's body.
Growing up, I played basketball in the streets like all the other kids against my dad. And it wasn't really posting up, it's just go out there. And as I got taller, I was just in the post, but I've always liked facing. So, I just feel more comfortable turning to facing because I feel like I have an advantage that way.
More often than not, Solomon is the first player to touch the ball in a game. All but twice this season, he has captured the opening tap and given the Bears first possession.
I feel like if the ref throws the ball straight up and, I'll get it. But sometimes the refs try to trick you and then they'll throw like the little fake one, and then I'll kind of like lean up and then he'll throw it up and give the other guy an advantage. Because I think the two that I lost, I think one was in Wisconsin, I definitely jump higher than him. And the other one, he kind of like leaned it a little bit. So it doesn't really matter. It just starts off defensively.
While the team would like to get going early, it is certainly paramount for Solomon.
Personally, I think if you get like me personally, if I get involved early in the game, then it's easier for me to sustain that, because then I'll go get more rebounds, I'll run harder, I'll play with defense harder, so it gets you more into the game and it makes you just want to do better, and I think that we can be a good team like that. I think I'm a lively person. When I get really involved in things, I don't like to lose, and sometimes I guess I let the game affect me too much. But yeah, I'm real emotional. I'm passionate about the game, and I just love to win. And so when things go the opposite of how you want them to go, then it's kind of frustrating.
That frustration is noticeable not only to Solomon, but to head coach Mike Montgomery, who seems to age a little bit with every misstep.
Coach Montgomery just wants me to be the best that I can be, and when I don't perform up to those levels, it can be kind of frustrating for him, and I understand that. And so basically, it just goes back to me just trying to be more consistent, playing at a high level all the time instead of just here and now, and not making the same mistakes that I did when I was a freshman or as a sophomore. So he's just expecting me to grow up and be more of a leader.
There has been visible and statistical proof of improvement in the former Bishop Montgomery Stars' play. It's just for Coach Montgomery, Cal fans, and Solomon himself, it can't come fast enough.
Just play with a high motor at all times. Just get every rebound off the glass offensively and defensively. Make my presence known in the paint and just be aggressive, I think.
We're with head coach Mike Montgomery. The Bears come off a really nice weekend at home here against the Oregon schools. 2 really tight games, and as it turned out, 2 games that came down to the last and the next of the last possessions in the contest, and your team came up with the defensive stops to win the game.
Yeah, fortunately, it was the other team having to make shots to tie as compared to us having to make shot to win. We had the lead by making shots in the next to last possession or last possession that we had or whatever, and we had some clutch performances there. We actually defended well all weekend. We were not great offensively. We've not shot the ball very well. Kind of fallen to the bottom of the league in three-point shooting percentage. They're really doing a good job on Alan Crabb and making it tough on him. Fortunately, our big guys have started to make some plays, but that should happen based on how they're playing our perimeter. Tyrone came up and had a good game with 12 points. Somebody's got to score. You're not going to beat people if you can't score the ball, but I thought that defensively we did a good job both games. I thought that we followed the game plan, particularly against Oregon, got them out of what they want to do, which is the fast break sideline and second shot opportunities. So, we're not a well-oiled machine, but getting 2 Whether Oregon's a 10th ranked team in the country, I would question that at this point, especially without their point guard Dominic Artis. That makes it that much tougher for them. But we got to win at home against top ranked team, and that's good.
Now, in the quirk of the scheduling with the unbalanced schedule, now you're going to face two teams as you begin the second half of conference play that you have not seen yet, Arizona State Thursday and Arizona on Sunday. Arizona State picked 11th in the preseason poll, which shows you, I guess, what pundits know. But this is a team that's caught people by a little bit of surprise, but their starting five is very good, and Jahi Carson has changed their dynamic quite a bit.
Well, this whole picking things early is so stupid. I mean, you pick Oregon based on the fact you don't know about Kazemi, for example, and he shows up and he's one of the better big guys in the league. You pick people based on who you think they're going to have, and they don't have them, and then obviously they can't be that team, but everybody wants to refer back to that like that was the gospel. They've got what Arizona State has ended up with is one of the better big guys in the league in Bashinsky, who's a great shot blocker who has developed like most big guys, 7'2", 250. Now he's in his third year of play, and he's now a good player. He's probably a pro because of his shot blocking ability. He scores around the basket, but he's become a go-to guy. And then, as you say, Jahi Carson is probably the purest point guard in the league from the standpoint of distributing, getting to the basket, making other players better. He's averaging about 19 points. So, yeah, it's like baseball, where you go catcher, pitcher, center fielder. It's the same principle. Point guard, center, and they've shored those up very nicely. They're having Gordon is a transfer, and he's been a real good player for him at the off guard. Felix is a senior, and he's had glimpses over the years, and all of a sudden he's playing really steady. So they're a pretty veteran team, and obviously at 17-4, they're a team to be reckoned with.
Certainly everybody knew Arizona was going to be a team to be reckoned with because they have pieces coming back. But the infusion of Mark Lyons in their case at the point guard, the transfer from Xavier, has also made a big difference for them because he's a guy that has made a lot of key plays in close games down the stretch.
Well, that goes back to what I'm saying. When you make the picks early, you don't know about Mark Lyons. He's a guy that this old transfer rule, which is ridiculous, where guys can leave and go play a fifth year and get into graduate school ostensibly and play, and Lyons is good, and that was the one thing that they really maybe lacked with all the talent that they have, was a guy that was a point guard, a proven point guard that could make others better, and he's proven to be a scorer. He's a veteran. He's been a leader for them because, there's no question about all the talent that they have, particularly along that front line, but you think of Parham and Solomon Hill, yeah. Those guys have been great players in the league, and now you add all these freshman bigs to go along. The left-handers, again, names I haven't really looked much at Arizona yet, but Choi isn't hardly playing at all because they got that freshman front line. So they're loaded with talent. And other than a loss or two, the big win for them was that Florida game at home, which kind of got everybody's attention because everybody, likes when you beat a team like that. And so it's going to be a tough road trip. It has proven to be for everybody.
All right, good luck this week. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, thank you.
Head coach Mike Montgomery as the Bears head south to the state of Arizona to take on the Sun Devils and the Wildcats.